All right, on today's episode, we're going to talk about how AI, like why you might pay for the pro version and why Josh has not paid for the pro version quite yet. And then, maybe what would actually lead someone to where it would make sense to pay for that to get their time back. I'll let Josh give a little bit of what he currently pays for, what he doesn't pay for. I'll talk about what I currently pay for, which is a little different because I'm actually running an AI business. And then we'll talk through the pros and cons of the pro version of Claude or Perplexity. So just give a little bit about what AI you use. I know we've talked about it, but then whether you use the pro version or not of some of those AI tools.
Uh, so right now I pretty much use Perplexity, but I have been using some Gemini just for like basic search stuff. But most of the heavy lifting is from Perplexity. And I technically have Perplexity Pro, but that's because I got a free Perplexity Pro for a year from, I think it was Venmo. They gave it to me for free. So I've been able to access pro stuff, but without paying for it. I have been hesitant to pay for an AI because I still have not made the connection of like, here's the really valuable tasks that I can have it do. Perplexity is a good search engine, especially with its deep research function. If you want to know more about a topic, it does a great job. I have noticed, I've got a coworker that uses Claude. Of course, Caleb uses Claude, and it is not quite as good at everything else. Just the function to be able to throw in an Excel sheet and have it format things or create extra tabs and do tasks is not as robust as, say, a Claude would be. So I'm considering paying for a Claude. I don't even remember what the like $25. I was looking at Claude for Teams because in my 20 seconds of research, it looks like there's a little more strictness on your data.
Yeah.
So, and that's important to me, especially if I'm going to do anything with client data. I still wouldn't throw anything majorly, your social security and your list of fears in there.
My social security
But
number.
yeah, but it would make me feel better.
Yeah. What's really interesting. So I was paying for the $100 a month Claude. Well, there have been some months that I paid for the 200, which was probably kind of dumb, but either way, I was paying for the $100 a month Claude. Then I started paying for Google Workspace. So I figured I might as well use the Gemini that comes with that. And then I am transitioning down to $20 a month Claude next week or next month. I have noticed the same thing about Gemini. And what's even worse is Gemini for business is worse than Gemini for personal. It can't
Really?
create documents. It doesn't have any custom instructions. It doesn't have memory. I'm like, why would you create a model that doesn't have memory between sessions? And maybe I have completely missed it, but I've looked it up on Claude. I've looked it up on Gemini. And when you go to the personal version of Gemini, it says like whatever, customize Gemini. When you go to the business one, it's not there at all in any of the settings. I've looked everywhere. And it's horrible because I'll ask it a question and I'm like, I just gave you the context in another conversation, but now you have no idea what I'm talking about. And then it won't create documents either, where Claude is so nice because it just creates a document for you and you download it. Whereas in Gemini, it gives you all the text that you need to copy and paste into the document. And it's just stupid. Like, why would you not be able to create a Google Doc or a Google Sheet? You can press the three dots at the bottom and say like send to Google Sheet. But first of all, we're humans and kind of lazy, so that's annoying. But secondly, it doesn't actually work that way, because if you have a bunch of text let's say you want Gemini to create a Google Sheet and it shows you like rows A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then whatever the header rows would be, it actually sends both of those into the Google Sheet. So the first row is literally A, B, C, D, E, F, G instead of the header rows. And I'm like, dumb is that? So I will let you keep going, but I 100% agree. Gemini, I mean, it's still great because I can ask a one-off question, like,
Yeah,
oh, what should I do here?
right.
But in general, Claude is way better.
And I don't really understand enough about technology to know like why in the world, Google, you powerhouse of data, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's because they say that the business version is more data secure, but also if let's say someone is having a conversation with Gemini, then goes and has another conversation with Gemini, that previous conversation is still on the cloud. So having the memory between conversations, I get it if like, okay, you delete a previous conversation, you want your data to be secure, so it just deletes that conversation. There's no memory of it. But when someone's like, I was leaving conversations on Gemini so that it could pull context, and then I realized that it wasn't pulling any of the context. So like at that point, I think memory makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. It's really dumb.
Yeah, I agree. It's totally dumb. Right. What you're saying about Google, plus Perplexity is the same way. Like, I don't, I don't have enough understanding to know what makes them, how the developers decide what functionality it should have and what it shouldn't. But for a long time, I felt like Perplexity was better than Gemini at search. Now I feel like Gemini is there, that it's on par with Perplexity. Does it have a deep research function, Gemini?
Yeah, it does. I think
Okay,
almost every single one.
pretty much everybody does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for who's going to be top dog. But as far as doing tasks, it seems like Claude is the one to use. I'm not around a bunch of people who've used ChatGPT for a lot of like Excel stuff, but
Yeah.
that one could be great too. I don't know.
I've heard that the newest version of ChatGPT is so we talked about Fable 5 from Claude. I think it was it was either 5.6 or 6. I can't remember, but was almost on par with Fable 5. So I think
Huh.
they're getting up there. I just don't know if they have the same guardrails or ethics as Anthropic, which is important when you're giving AI models a lot of power.
Right. And like that's one of the reasons that I've not just laid out the money for AI and been like, control my browser.
What do you think
Because
would take you from your current position to, okay, I'm willing to pay for the $25 a month Teams plan?
I mean, I would at least try it instantly if somebody was like, this is a completely secure model and you can throw whatever you want into it and nobody will ever see it. I would be like, great, let's do it. We're just going to try everything.
Have you tried having Claude or Perplexity or something walk you through a local model version?
Mm-mm.
Because I wonder
No.
if you buy a specific computer that just has that you upload a local model to, and then you can literally throw anything you want into there because
Yeah.
it's on your computer the whole time.
Right. I tried Olama with what model did I use? And I blue screened my computer twice. And
Yeah,
I was
it
like, oh, okay.
RAM that it takes up and
Uh-huh.
right on my computer. And I mean, there's probably ways to optimize it, which I haven't done quite yet, but it was very slow. It took,
Mm-hmm.
I said, my first question was, what is 2 plus 2? And it took 3 minutes in order to answer that question. It was like, the user is saying 2 plus 2. The user is not saying 3 plus 3. So I should look up what 2 plus, I was like, okay, that's 3 minutes. That is a long time to answer that question. You
Right.
can just said 4.
Yep. Might be worth spending the money to get an online model.
Yeah. But
That,
then the
but
online models are
right.
your data. You never know what's going to happen with that. So
Uh-huh.
do you think, because if you could find 2 or 3 tasks that combined saved you whatever it would be, half an hour, that would be worth the $25 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if they weren't, tasks that you would rather have a local model for, I wonder if you could just lay out, you know, maybe 2 tasks that take 15 minutes that you could do once a month or multiple times per month, or one task that you do 2 times a month, and then put that through Claude. You said you do the time cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long does that usually take? Or how long
Well,
did it take and how long did it take now?
I did it with Perplexity in, I don't know, 5 minutes. And by hand can take me up to like 30, depending on how many time
Right
cards.
there, that's 25 minutes.
Yeah, except the last time I tried it, Perplexity couldn't figure it out. It's like, you've
Have you
done
tried it
this
in Claude?
before. Huh?
Have you tried it in Claude?
No, I haven't tried it in Claude yet. But that's one of the things I will try.
When's the next time card?
Would be next week, next
Fine.
Monday.
All right. Well, what you should do is next Monday, throw everything in Claude, do the same thing, and see if Claude can figure it all out. Because think about it, that's 25 minutes right there. If you do that 2 times per month,
Mm-hmm.
minutes, that pays for
Right.
Claude by itself.
Yeah.
Certainly it does it correctly. Where
Right.
not so
Well,
much.
I was curious. You were saying you maybe thought the $200 Claude was more than what you needed, and now you're trying to use the like $20 Claude. What was the difference? Like, why the downgrade?
To save a little money was the big one because that the difference between 120 was $80, but then if I used the Google Workspace, it's like $14 a month. So really, I was saving $65 a month, which is quite a lot. The other thing is, and I know this is crazy to say, but I feel like I have to give myself specific limits when it comes to AI because like I could just use AI all day, but then not actually do anything that's productive because AI always answers you and no matter what, it will give you an answer. Even if you say thank you, it's going to end up giving you an answer. So then the conversations can just go all day, but I'm not actually doing something. So then it's going to be one, like it's going to save me money. Two, it's going to be a forcing mechanism to where I have to use the tokens that I have in the most concise and direct way possible. So those are the two big ones. The other one, I mean, it was really just like, yeah, I know that I don't use Claude all the time for stuff that's actually productive. So forcing me to be productive with the Claude that I have makes sense. And I think I was going to pay for Google Workspace anyways. So I figured I might as well not spend the $100 a month on Claude and I can move some stuff to Gemini. But that was also before I realized that Gemini was absolutely horrendous at taking context between conversations. So I'll probably not necessarily go back to the $100 a month Claude unless I have a bunch of coding projects to do, which I would love to go back to that if there were a bunch of projects. But right now, I mean, I'm okay dealing with some of the stupidity of Gemini. So it's okay.
Is it pretty easy to like change subscription down and up for Claude?
Yeah, it's super
They
easy.
make that good.
So, I mean, and the other thing that I figured out was I can pay for Claude for the full year for $17 a month. And then if I were to go up, it takes the extra that I paid and just credits it towards the months until it runs out. And then I start paying again. So
Yeah.
for the full month in advance, I mean, the full year in advance doesn't actually hurt me in any way. And I know I'll use Claude for the next year unless the
Mm-hmm.
project dies. So I was like, I was okay paying the 17 annually versus 20 per month. So yeah,
Right.
that's where I'm at right now with, I don't really use ChatGPT because Gemini can create images.
Mm-hmm.
I pay for Google Workspace. And then I don't use Grok ever. And Perplexity, not as much because I've been paying for Claude so much.
Yeah.
And Claude's deep research is really good and its web search is really good. So I'm not going to, pay for multiple just because I want to.
Does Grok suck? I know nobody who's tried Grok, like
Um,
with any intent.
I don't know. I don't think Grok, I mean, it's mainstream because it's like people know the name Grok, but I don't know anyone who really uses it consistently. When I was teaching the entrepreneurship class, there was a lot of people in that class who actually used Grok,
Hmm.
but I'm not really sure why they use Grok over Claude or ChatGPT or anything like that.
Mhm.
So it's maybe it's not bad, but I don't think it's worth switching if someone else is
Yeah.
different.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was curious if you were able to. Is the $100 Claude versus $20 Claude the difference? Is it mostly how much coding you have to do?
Uh, yeah, it's like token usage mainly, which the $20 per
Th-
month Claude definitely hits things a lot faster. But that is also why I'm doing it, because I know I need to be more focused in how I'm using Claude, or else I could just talk to my friend Claude all day and not actually get anything done.
What What do you talk to Claude about all day?
I mean, they're like so much different stuff. I could show you all the chats, but it's not like stupid stuff, but it's like, what about this idea? What about this idea? What about this idea? And then I'm like, all right, I'm talking to Claude about all these ideas, but I'm not actually going and doing the idea itself.
Hmm.
So then, like, why am I paying for this much token usage? There are times where, I mean, even recently, I hit the limit on $100 per month with some of the coding, but then it's like, okay, am I adding a feature to this app that nobody uses? Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm hitting
Yep.
the limit, but it's like, what did I actually do that was productive with that limit?
Hmm.
So it's going to definitely force me to be very concise and know what I'm going to do before I do it.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like, hey, add this feature because it's cool. Like, that doesn't help anyone, you know?
Hmm.
That's,
Right.
we'll see how it goes. I might come back in a month and say, nope, I switched back to 100, but hopefully not. We'll see.
Have you heard of Centaur chess? You talking to Claude reminded me of it. But apparently, after who was the big chess guy that played against, was it Deep Blue? Was the computer?
I don't know the guy, but I remember.
So he made Centaur chess, which is basically like all the chess tournaments have a human, and each human has at least one computer because so much of learning chess from a young age is pattern recognition that they were like, well, you can play chess by just being a good strategist and not having to do the pattern recognition. So apparently there's like people that are who've been in like, mediocre chess players in tournaments who now have like played chess against that grandmaster guy because they don't have to spend a bunch of time pattern recognizing and doing what the computer is good at.
But isn't
But
that taking away from chess then? Like,
well,
that's part of chess, pattern
it
recognition.
depends on what you want chess to be. So his whole point was like, if chess is about strategy, you can make it a strategy game instead of a memorization and strategy game. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. So like the humans with the computer could play way better chess against chess players who were exceptional just by eliminating the memorization aspect of it.
That I feel in my stomach like that's like a gray line area for me, because I I understand why it works logically, but then I'm like, then I don't know. Isn't chess for fun? So then, I mean, obviously chess is like, you learn how to be strategic. So there are very much real world applications, but it's a game for a reason. So then, like, are you just trying to game the game? I don't know. It's
Have you ever played chess against somebody who's really good?
I am, I've not played chess, so no.
Yep. So my experience is you get in one game with somebody that was in chess club and you're like, well, I guess I'm never playing chess again
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
because the chasm to become a good chess player, to cross that chasm, is takes so much time that it's like just to be competent and play with these people that are in chess club would take so much time that like, this is not a fun game for me. I'm going to have to do homework to be good at this game.
They put in the time, so they deserve to be as good as they are, right?
Sure. And
haven't-
if that's what you want to do with it, that's fine. But
Well,
to me, I'm like, well, that's not really a game. That's like that's an exceptional hobby.
you think about basketball, like you got to put a lot of time in order to actually be good. There's a lot of people who can play, but just to be honest, they're just bad. And
Mhm.
so in order to get to be an exceptional basketball player, you have to put thousands of hours in. So I think that, I don't know, in my mind, I feel like every hobby or whatever, not every hobby, but lots of hobbies, you have to put in the time in order to get good at the hobby. So then AI is basically a cheat code, which I understand in business it's kind of the same way. I'm not saying that it's all wrong, but like if you had a robot with AI playing basketball against you, it could just outthink you every single time, but it didn't have to do any of the work to get there. I don't know. Just I feel like it's definitely
Well,
a in my mind.
I think the robot could beat you in part because exactly what I'm saying, which is that if the game weighs heavily on muscle movement, which is all just memory, like, oh, here's the program I run to dribble, here's the program I run to do a layup or whatever, then that's the thing that AI is good at. So in my mind, it's like, if you want to play a strategy game, then use a computer. If you want to show off how much time you've put into this thing, then don't use a computer. You know what I mean? It's like doing long division. When's the last time you did that? Well, probably middle school, because we have these things called calculators. And
Yeah. But
why in the world would you do that?
for a fun game to play. Chess, I feel like, is supposed to be a fun game to play against people, like a good competition.
Well,
Unless you're a
yes.
also.
And if you don't like the memorization part and you just want to play the fun game, play Centaur chess.
Yeah. I guess it can go both ways. I still feel like it's a great because it's the same way in business. Like, I mean, there's gray lines everywhere in business when it comes to using AI. It's not all black and white. So yeah, no, that's really interesting though, that, I mean, they can use AI to get rid of some of the pattern recognition to make it a lot easier for people to play.
Apparently, it also is a form of chess that makes humans competitive against AI, because AI is not as good at the strategy part of the board, since it's basically just taking your open move options and playing a probability.
Yeah. I wonder if I could get a bionic arm that would allow me to shoot the exact same way. I just program like, here's like 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, and then it notices how far away I plug something into the basket. It knows how far away it is and automatically shoots the exact same.
The perfect shot every time.
And you never miss. But then at that point, that would be really boring. What's the point in playing?
Maybe for people who've lost arms, they can play basketball now.
Then they'll beat all of us because they won't ever miss.
Right.
Well, that's all I got. But I think you should figure out 2 tasks or 1 task that you do twice that takes 15 minutes and then pay for Claude Teams. I think it's worth it.
Okay. I'll try it.
All right. Well, that's the podcast. If you guys like it, we'd love a 5-star review on Spotify. Like and subscribe on YouTube, and send us an email at jc.unscripted@gmail.com. That is the podcast, and we will see you on the next one.